Hi, I'm Wire. Welcome to Wireworks. Hey everybody, Wire here. We're going to be working on this radio here. This is a Zenith high fidelity AM FM radio. It is a tube radio, and it was from what I gather with the label underneath of it, this one was built on January 30th, 1959, and this was number 28 off of the assembly line. And I couldn't find a model number for it. I did find a chassis number for it, and the chassis number is HC01 to HC02, and the only other number I could find on it was S46351. So I'm going to look in my in my schematics manuals and see if I can find a schematic on this. If you noticed, it doesn't have any knobs on it. I took the knobs off when whoever owned this before was a smoker, and it was really yellow and dirty, and I just couldn't stand the smell of it. So what I did is I cleaned the knobs. Well, I took the knobs off, cleaned the knobs, cleaned the cabinet up real good, got a lot of that yellow stuff off, and cleaned it up a little bit before we get into it. I haven't turned it on or anything. I do know that the band switch doesn't work. And that's back here. But I think the dial cord may have broke or something. So let's take this apart, get into it, plug it in, let's see if it works, and see what we have to do to it. Okay, we got this out of here. I had to disconnect the speakers from the chassis. Cabinet looks really good. For some reason the dial string is broke, and it's a little hard to turn. Well, one of the dial strings is broke. Okay, the dial string that holds the dial indicator. So I want to pop this off, see if I can get that out of it. Obviously it takes two dial strings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this off. We'll see what's going on, and we'll fire it up. See if we can get something going on here. Looks like somebody's been in here before. glasses. Sorry guys, I'm left-handed. Obviously that's not coming off. Let me see if I can get this off and I'll be right back. Okay, I had to hook a speaker up to this. I couldn't get this screw off, so I had to swing that out of the way. The only string that was broke was the string to the dial itself, so let's let me get this one something. Let's turn it on and see if we can get anything out of this thing. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm getting anything out of this. Well, it might not be working because I don't have everything hooked up to it. Okay, I got it working. Obviously, you got to have two speakers hooked up to it to get anything out of it. And all we're getting out of it is hum. I don't know if you can hear that or not. So that tells me the filter caps are beat. Let me try something else here. Yeah, all I'm getting is hum. So that tells me that we need to change this capacitor right here. So let me shut this off and we'll flip this over and let me get to the other camera and then we'll look at the bottom of this. Okay, we got this all flipped over now. You can see got plenty of space here to work with. Some little cobwebs and everything, we'll blow them out. You can see you got all these paper capacitors, they're going to have to be changed. I really don't fool with them ceramic capacitors because they usually hold their value and they pretty much will last forever. I only change them just in case something else, if they don't read out correctly. We got a couple over here. So we're going to have to change this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paper capacitors, 8, 9. There's one underneath it here too. 9 paper capacitors, and there's one on the back here on the what's this hooked to? Oh, this is hooked to the switch. This is the radio and phono switch. You could hook a phonograph up to this too. Back in those days, your phonograph was separate. 10 capacitors. There's one right here too. There's Bumblebee. Also, you see there's a selenium rectifier here. I usually change them. I may not change that in this case. Seems like it's working pretty good. What we're going to do now is probably start testing the tubes. I know a lot of guys don't test their tubes, but I do. I want to make sure that there's no problems in the tubes before I start recapping this. So what we'll do is we'll set the tube tester up here and start testing these tubes. So let me get this set up with the tester, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got all set up for tubes. I did find the schematics in this book here. I don't know if some of you guys might be familiar with this. These books. It's the most often needed radio diagrams by Bateman's. I have every book from 1926 to 1969. It has just about maybe 98% of every radio schematic for every radio that was built in the United States. And I've been collecting these throughout the years, and I got the whole complete I think it's 30 volumes. I think it's 30 volumes or something, just on radios. They do have volumes on televisions, but I don't do TV, so I don't think I'll be getting them. Maybe just to collect them, but I don't do TVs. And I found out that this was on page 75. This is the schematic for that radio. I am going to print. I also have these on PDF, so I will print them out. I just wanted to show you guys. This is where I get a lot of my diagrams. I can't find them here. I find them in riders. I got every one of those too, but that's only on PDF. Those volumes. There's so many of those volumes that filled up 2 rooms. And this is the alignment procedure, and the how to restring the dial strings. I also have books specifically on dial strings too, on how to string up a lot of these old radios. So we do have this. I will print them out. I just thought I'd share this with you if you guys want to know where I'm getting my information from. Okay, we're going to start doing these tubes here. Let me clean these up a little bit and get them in order, and we'll start testing these. Okay, the first tube we're going to test is this 19TH. This is for the FM stage of this radio. I really want to get this radio working. I want to keep that out here in the patio for my radio out here. I do like listening to these old tube radios. Seems like they sound so much better than these new ones. There's no tinny sound to them. Okay, this one here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tests here. So the first thing we're going to do, put that on 19. Let's turn it on first. I'm going to have to turn this off for a minute so I can adjust this eye. So let this warm up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. Turn that back on. Okay, 19T8. The volts is 19. Make sure this line adjust is right. Okay, that's correct. F is 4. F1 is 5. The Q is 8. And the load is 60. That tests good. The dynamic neutral conductance is a little low. It's supposed to test at 65 and we're only at 35, so I don't know if that's going to affect it or not, but we'll have to see. Now, everything remains the same on the other 3 tests except for the Q. The next test, the Q would be 2. It's fairly decent. New shorts. The next Q would be 1. It's fairly good. Even though a lot of these tubes test not so good or bad, most of them will work in your radio. Just puts a little strain on the other parts of the radio. But I do have another one of these 19T8s. If this one doesn't work. Okay, the next Q would be 6. Okay, now this tube is still good. I mean, it doesn't test 100%, but we're going to use it anyway. Okay, the next one we're going to test is this 35 EH5, which is also in the FM section of this radio. So 35 EH5. There's only one test on this, and this we'll have to use up in here. Still looking for another tube tester to verify the test that I do on this as well. 35 EH5. Set this on 35. F is 3. F1 is 4. The load is 25, so that, I mean, the Q is 25, so that would be a 2 and a 5. And the load is 20. Yeah, there's a little issue with this socket. That tests good. Okay. Next one is 6 BJ6. That goes in socket 7E, which is up here. Oops. Forgot to turn all that stuff off. I hope I didn't blow it out. Goes in 6E. The load, the voltage is 6, 3, 4, Q is 1, and the load is 60. And that tests good. And dynamic mutual conductance calls for 20, and wow, that's real good. Let's see for the short, no shorts. So that's a good one too. 6AB4. There goes in C. Six, 3, 4. Q is 6. The load is 70. And that tests good as well. That DMC tests good as well. Okay. Alright fellas, look, I'm not going to drag this all out for you guys because I got quite a number of these yet to do yet. What I'll do is I'll report back when I get them done. This is going to be a 2-part series because there's just a lot that has to be done to this radio. So we're going to finish testing the tubes here and see if we can knock out a couple capacitors on this thing too while I have it out on part 1 here. So let me get to the rest of these tubes and I'll be right back. Okay, all the tubes tested pretty good. The 6BE6 tube was a little flaky, so I'm going to replace that one, as well as the 6BA6. That one was a little flaky too. It kept jumping between bad and good, and it was kind of questionable. So I'm going to replace those two. The 19T2 that we first started testing, it's good, but it's a little low. I'm going to see how it works out once we get this all recapped and going. If it doesn't play very well on the FM, then I'll change it out. Also, I wanted to show you a couple of these have to have shields on them. Usually shields are metal. Okay, so these are cardboard with a foil around it. Now, I'm not going to go with these. I have other shields that are metal that we can put around them. So I'm going to do that instead of using these. If they don't seem to work out real good, I'll just take some aluminum foil and put around these. But I really don't care for these too much. I mean, I won't chuck them away as of yet. But it seems to me with the foil coming off, it's going to cause some oscillation in the front end of this. Also, I did take count of all the capacitors that we're going to need for this project. The electrolytic, it's only one electrolytic in this, and it's this big cap on the top. Let me see if you can see it. This one here. Let me move it up a little bit for you. This one here, this is a 4-stage cap. It's a 80, a 40, a 40, and a 40. So, you know, they don't make these anymore, and if they do, they're going to be very pricey. So we're going to use 4 different ones: a 80 at 150, a 40 at 150, another 40 at 150, and a 40. It's supposed to be at 25. So what I'll do is I'll get a 40 at 50. Now these won't be exact 40. I'll probably be using 47s because 47s are standard nowadays. They just, I mean, you can get the caps that they require, but a lot of guys don't use it. As long as you make sure that the cap is at least 40 microfarads or 80 microfarads. You can use 100. I could even use a 56 and it'll be fine. It'll work fine. It just take a little longer to heat up. and the voltage stays the same or above, you're fine. But you really don't want to go too high, because then it'll be draining some power from some of the other components that you need that power for. Okay, the poly caps that we're going to be using, 6.047s at 600 volts, 2.022 at 600 volts, 1.0047 at 600 volts, a 0.1 at 600 volts, and a 0.0033 at 600 volts. And these are the caps we're going to use, and we're going to get to that in our next video. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm sorry the video was a little short. I started this at the end of the day. I've been painting around the house, and I'm doing this in between drying, so I got to get back to my patio door and put a second coat on it. Anyway, fellas, I'll see you next time. Thanks for viewing. May God bless you all, and you all be safe. This is Wired Wireworks. See ya.